Welcome back everybody, DestinysJesus here. In this video I'm covering 8 of the best solo jump spots for Season 8 Solo Arena that will help you guys get champs fast. These also help you out in solo cash cups if you want a spot to practice and land at in those, and also they're all covering enough chest spawns that you guys can actually have good loot, enough floor spawns so you can have good mobility, and enough mats so you can have really easy WQ opportunities and the ability to play fair game as well. Okay, before we get into this, make sure to leave a like on the video and also make sure to subscribe as well. Okay, so our first solo spot we're looking at is one that actually kind of got nerfed last season, so it was worse, and now it's been buffed by a large amount and not many players at all know about it. It's basically this radio tower just above this alien base here. When you go ahead and land, it's basically the same as it's been for a long time now. Having about 4 layers below underground with loads of extra chests, there's pepper boxes, there's extra barrels as well that you can get, and there's an insane amount of mats. Also, it's been added as an extra area where you can actually get one of the black cars that are really quick for rotating mid-game, and 2 chests over towards left-hand side. So literally just in this small area, you can get max mats, you get 3 slurp barrels, plus a pepper box as well. So you're pretty much always guaranteed to be leaving with good loot. The one thing with the spot is you need to be mindful of somebody from alien base panning over, but the majority of times you should be able to kill them since you've got so much loot in this actual building itself, so you're likely to have a good shotgun as well. Okay, so our next spot we're looking at is one of these orange spots around the map. It is very hard to claim the entirety of an orange spot, and it is also quite awkward fighting them a lot of the time. So what I'd recommend doing instead is to actually go ahead and land on the bottom side of this, and make sure you're always trying to ping as you're gliding in and figure out where you can land on an AR, because oftentimes you can get a free kill just from someone landing in a chest in the open, burn through their mats pretty quick, and then get a really easy kill. So go ahead and land on this middle area with the 3 chests here. Make sure you get an AR or something as quick as possible, then run around and get some floor spawns. And the good thing with these orange spots is there's literally pretty much a pad on every single one of them just because of how many floor spawns there are. So that's the advantage of flying with the pings. From there, make sure you've got all the loot as possible, rotate over towards this other side, get some even more chests, and then come into the plane lines itself, and you get max metal literally immediately. Then you can also fill up the rest of your shield with coconuts, and you can start scouting into Coral Castle. Oftentimes with Coral Castle, there'll be people landing at the main area, and you can just swipe up some extra loot and then carry on rotating mid-game, and you're already max mats and max shield at this point, so you should have a really easy game for mid-game rotates. Okay, so our next spot is actually taking advantage of this blue cube down here. If you guys didn't know, if you actually run into this, it gives you about 20 shield immediately, so you can get up to full shield and save all of your shield insta off spawn and not have to use any, which is actually really useful for solos because it kind of limits how many extra chests you actually need. As a general rule of thumb, to do good in solos, you need to have about 7 chests on average every single game. So getting all of your shield taken care of just by a natural item like the cube here will save that a lot, and also just allows to reduce RNG. So what you're going to do is land straight on the cube, get a gun, get to some of the shield, then get all these chests around here and get enough mats just to make sure you can overbuild and cover yourself so you don't waste that shield in case someone from alien base or someone from weather station tries to tag you on the way. From there, go ahead and rotate north, get this chest on the bridge, build up towards this actual bridge here as well. Make sure you get all of the metal and get cat metal at this point, and there's a load of different rotate options you can do. You can go ahead and rotate over towards this little hut down here, you can go into Catty, you can rotate into this orange place or into this house down here, or what you can do actually, which is really nice, is wrap around and get even more chests on the backside of Misty, which is pretty much uncon every single game. Also make sure when you're rotating out here, keep in mind if somebody shoots you from alien base or weather station, because oftentimes you can rotate up there and get one of those for free if you're a little bit aware with your scouting as you're dropping in. Okay, so our next spot is another variation of one of these orange places. Go ahead and land on the spy tower next to the logjam. The good thing with this is the fact that you've got visibility 360 degrees around you, so you can see exactly what is uncon on your mid-game rotates out. So you can check if this over towards Weeping is uncon, this area above to the left of Weeping is uncon, any of this orange place is uncon, you can go over and get all of those chests, or logjam itself, which is really good, or even the whole way down here towards this backside of the orange place, or this little area here, or even part of Slurpee. There's so much extra loot in this area that you can see just from the spy tower, just from getting these 3 chests insta, which is one of the really good things of landing up here. From there, you want to go ahead and save some of your shield, so make sure you save your bigs, and fly down. There's a little hidden orange crate that not a lot of people know about. Inside there, if somebody does land in there, you can kill them pretty quick, as I show here. Alternatively, what you can go ahead and do is just go straight down, get all the chests, and there's some extra barrels, like 3 barrels down there, and you can save all of your shield that you get off spawn, like bigs and stuff for later in the mid game. After that, you just use the scouting knowledge that you have from earlier to decide where you're going to rotate to. You can go up here and get the metal from the tomato head, or you can rotate into any of those other spots that I mentioned earlier and have a really easy game. We've actually got an insane amount of loot. You should have average about 10 chests on any path that you do out of here, just because of how much density there is of the chests in this area, so you're always going to have really good loot. Okay, this next spot is really underrated and not too many people are landing here at all. It's a little alien base just below Holly Hedges, as you can see here. There's 2 regular chests plus a henchman chest plus 3 barrels in this immediate area, and you can instantaneously just get a car, oftentimes put wheels on it, and it can have really easy rotate options to go to. If you're a little bit more aggressive player, make sure you go towards a spot where you can third party somebody and catch them off guard, maybe like Logjam, or maybe over here towards the alien area, or you can go up here towards Holly Hedges, or alternatively, if you're a little more passive player, go ahead and rotate down to somewhere uncon near you, maybe like the barrel area, or this beach, and you can get really instantaneous mats, plus a very easy mid game since you've got a car with wheels, and then from there you can go ahead and chill. Important thing again is just to scout as you're dropping in so you know where is either contested or uncontested near you, so you can decide what you're going to do next. This next spot is one of those spots that I'd recommend that you guys just learn and master, and it can definitely be really useful depending on if it's your first game of a cash cup like a WK game, or if you're high-low and you want to kind of play passive and play for endgame. It's this little south area of Dirty Docks. So you go ahead and land, scout if anyone's landing towards your south, and if they do, you can immediately get a kill on them as they're running around in the open of no mats. It's very easy to do so. Even if they've opened this chest, just keep spraying at them and you'll be able to kill them. And then from there, you can go ahead and decide what you want to do next. Either go down and rotate and actually loot this whole bottom south area, and then oftentimes you can dip out, come over this way, loot this backside, or you can go up towards retail and loot over that way. Alternatively, what you can do is sneak up into Dirty, fly around, catch someone off guard and hit them with like a nice shot to open the fight, and then from there get into a really bunch of engagements in Dirty Docks. It really just depends on how you want to play out your game, whether you want to go ahead and loot and then dip, or if you just want to loot and then W key straight in with a massive loot and mat advantage from all those wood pallets in the building. Now this next spot is definitely one that I think would work depending on what type of player you are. If you're comfortable with getting an off-spawn engagement or an early mid-game fight and doing that consistently no matter what kind of game you're in, this is definitely one of the best spots on the map for you. So what you go ahead and do is actually land towards the north side of Cami Split and intentionally go for this top area here. Instead of landing towards this bottom side where most people are going to be aiming for, just land at this top here, make sure you've got the best shot for like an AR or something and ping it as you come in, and then from there you can go and shoot anyone that lands in this bottom area, or shoot people over on this side if they're fighting at this main area, and oftentimes you just pick up a kill from doing that. From there, just go ahead and loot this bottom area as quick as possible. Make sure you get this radar dish thing here to get some metal as well, and then you can go ahead and decide on what you want to do. Either go over and W key the guy at the other side, or alternatively what you can do is just dip over, come over towards this junction area, come over towards the gas station, and then just play your mid game from there. And oftentimes the thing with this is you're going to have to be fighting somebody, but you've got so many chests, like 8 chests or 9 chests oftentimes, before you even get into a fight with somebody, that you can have better loot than them, and you should be confident on killing them as quick as possible, and then you can play out a really easy game from there. Okay, so this final spot I'm going to recommend does rely on you guys actually being extremely comfortable with just W-king and fighting with nothing. What you're going to be doing is landing at this orange place underneath Sweaty, and from there just try to land on an AR and a pump, and then immediately W-key anyone who's in the surrounding area. Normally be conduct laced by another one player, so just try to fight them as quick as possible and catch them off guard before they're ready to fight you. Basically just run at them when you've found minis, a pump and an AR, and you'll be able to kill them majority of the time if you're confident in doing so. From there, what you're going to go ahead and do is spend about another 30 seconds to a minute looting. Make sure you've got shield to actually fight, and a better pump ideally, and then what you're going to go ahead and do is grab a crystal, get in the slipstream thing, and then fly over to another PY that's surrounding you. So either Believers, Boney, or Holly, go ahead and W key over there, and then from there you can decide whether you want to go ahead and fight the person straight away, or just try to wait for an opportune moment to third party, which is honestly what I recommend doing. Then you have a really easy job where you can get all of the loot from that POI. Also, you can double back to the orange place as well and get even more chests. And oftentimes, because you're landing here, you can have a launch pad as well, which is really nice for endgame as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and actually learned a couple of different spots that you can try out in solo arenas to get champs, and also in solo cash cups that are coming up soon. If you guys want some more tips and stuff for solo cash cups, I'm updating the masterclass very shortly, so make sure to go check that out as well. And also make sure to subscribe and like the video.